Hello everyone and welcome to Nocturnal Horrors. My name is Sean Mazeral and I've just completed my first 31 days of horror. And I gotta tell you, it feels pretty good to be done. However, I do just want to take a quick second to go over some of the films that I've seen and give out some fake awards for certain films and give you some recommendations of what I think are great in one video. For those of you who don't know or didn't realize when I was doing these videos, I separated each week in October with a different theme. Week 1 was ghosts, 2 was most disturbing, 3 was foreign films, 4 was found footage, and 5 was monsters. Alright, let's just give out some awards here. First award, I had no doubt I had to give it to Benoit Poelvoord. He was sensational in Man Bites Dog. Literally, the camera just had to put him in the frame and I was hooked. He creates such an aura about himself. He creates such a cool vibe in this film, and he is so charismatic in the way that he blabbers 24/7, in the way that he thinks he knows everything about every single topic. I was completely blown away by this performance. This was another one that was absolutely a no-brainer. I didn't even need a single second to think about it. Hagazusa. It is one of the most beautiful horror films I have ever seen. Every single frame is gorgeous. It was so beautiful I can't even describe it to you. And this isn't just because it was in a beautiful location either. Really, if you look at the lenses they use, when they go widescreen, when they go extreme close-up, everything that they shoot has a particular beauty to it, and some scenes are indoors, some are outdoors, and everything is just gorgeous. I mean, it'd be weird if I didn't pick One Cut of the Dead as the best editing, right? I mean, after all, it's talking about editing in one cut, or lack thereof, and I had to do it. I do kind of feel weird having this movie as the best editing, since One Cut of the Dead actually discusses having just one cut in an entire film. But what they do afterwards and how they splice everything together, I mean, it was just phenomenal. But it does feel a little weird to call this best editing. It would almost be like calling Hitchcock's Rope with Jimmy Stewart best editing, even though there's like under 10 cuts. But just because you have a script that doesn't necessarily respond to things chronologically, doesn't mean you're gonna have great editing. And it really took a lot for this editing to make the script work as good as it should have. And yes, my best script is One Cut of the Dead, and the editing and the script together makes One Cut just magical. This is a brilliant film that everyone needs to see ASAP. I don't care what you're doing, stop and go see the movie. The way this script is able to show you something and then make you feel completely different about every single scene as the film progresses shows why this is a brilliant script. Not to mention the fact that the storyline is fabulous, the dialogue is hilarious, and it works to perfection. I really wanted to choose Calvaire for this one because it has the absolute creepiest scene in a bar where there's weird dancing and weird piano music being played. But when 90% of your film doesn't have any music at all, it's hard to give you the award for best music. That's why The Happiness of the Katakuris gets it without a doubt. These dance sequences and the lines that are in each song are fabulous. It's hysterical, it's so funny, it's so full of energy, and it's so macabre that it absolutely deserves best music. Best gore goes to Martyrs. Were there gorier films? Maybe, but when you mix the gore with the action and the purpose and the characters and have all that gore happening within the film the way it should, and it actually progresses the story, best gore. Okay, for week 1 we have Ghosts, and easily it is Ghost Watch. I'm not saying it's the scariest of the films, but I am saying it's the most clever and most original. I love the way that the BBC put this in on Halloween using all their real reporters and making it seem like it's real. Quintessential Orson Welles War of the Worlds type stuff here, but they did it in the 90s and they scared an entire country and they had a whole country in an uproar. I mean, if you can pull that off in the 90s, you've done yourself well. The best film of Most Disturbing Films Week was Irreversible by Gaspar Noé. I absolutely love this movie. I thought this film was ingenious. I think what they did with time was exquisite. Having this movie go in reverse, it makes every scene so much more important. Every line of dialogue has so much more meaning when you already know what has happened. And for that, this film is brilliant. Side note, if you want to know what film disturbed me the most, it was absolutely, positively, no doubt in my mind, a Serbian film. The things they do in that film are sickening. Definitely disturbing. It was an excellent film though. Best foreign film of the week was definitely The Happiness of the Katakuris, with One Cut of the Dead being a close second. Found footage was Troll Hunter. Troll Hunter is brilliant, it's hilarious, it's fun, it's suspenseful, great characters. Troll Hunter. Monsters? I had to go Lovecraftian, I had to go The Wall of Monsters, I had to go John Carpenter, I had to go Dr. Alan Grant, I had to go In the Mouth of Madness. I mean, we're talking Greg Nicotero here. How could I not choose this one? Yes, I do love the troll in Ernest Scared Stupid, but come on, let's be honest, guys. I'm just such a fan of the concept of Sutter Kane and how desperately I want to read an actual Sutter Kane book or just the closest thing to it. And I love Hobbs End being this sort of pseudo Stephen King Castle Rock area of New Hampshire. There's just so many things I love about this film. It was impossible for me not to give it the best of the week. The worst film was Men Behind the Sun. It was really a crappy movie, and at the same time, the things that they did in order to get these shots and sequences with the animal torture, using a real-life autopsy from a dead kid already, like there was just too many things that were absolutely appalling to make this film, and then it was also a really crappy film. I gotta go Gaspar Noé, Irreversible. As I said before, I really did love this film. When you go to see a film and it feels completely different than any other film, you have to really look into how and why it feels like such a different film. And the things that Gaspar Noé is able to do with this film, I think, is phenomenal. Let's put aside the fact that he was coked up while he was doing the camera work for those opening sequences, and probably more sequences, let's be honest. But the guy has a vision, and the guy is able to work off scripts that are like 3, 5, and 10 pages long, which means as a director, you're having to come up with a lot of things off the top of your head as you're shooting and in the editing process. And I really think that makes this guy do phenomenal. I just don't know how you can direct a film with 5 pages of script. I mean, that's phenomenal. They must really have a good pre-production process with the actors and the camera crew and everything, because you would lose so much money just trying to figure out what shots and how you should shoot something if you had nothing to go off of. Obviously, he's got stuff to go off of, and he's got a big cranium that he's clearly working well, but I don't know how you do it like that. So for me, best director, Gaspar Noé, created an absolutely powerful, powerful film in Irreversible. And if you haven't heard, they're doing a straight cut of Irreversible where they're reversing the already irreversible, which would make it not reversible or irreversible. It would just make it normal chronologically. So they're gonna show this movie in chronological order, but I kind of hate that. Like, the title is called Irreversible. You shouldn't be able to irreversible it. But Gaspar Noé has a vision for this, so be it. And for Best Picture, I'm going to give it to The Happiness of the Katakuris. This film is just so different. I love films that are absolutely fresh, and what this film was able to do, and the way it was able to look, and the way it was able to feel, and the humor, and the music, and the dance, and the ridiculousness of it, and the deaths in it, like the animation, everything about it was just so good. I found myself the entire time just being like, I couldn't believe it. It was perfection. I can't wait to watch it again. I need to purchase this movie ASAP. I think Arrow Video has something on it, and I want it desperately. There's a bunch of special features. There's audio commentaries from the director. I mean, I just gotta get on this. I need it so badly. I can't wait to watch it again. For me, in 31 Days of Horror, The Happiness of the Katakuris kind of had like one of those feelings. Have you ever just binge watched all episodes of like the X-Files? And I love X-Files to death. I love the mystery and the intrigue in it. But when you're just blowing through all the episodes, every now and then you want like a weird quirky one. And when you get those weird quirky ones, it's just like such a breath of fresh air because it changes it up and it's different. That's what The Happiness of the Katakuris was for me. It was just so different. And I just couldn't help but love it and I was so astounded by it. I wanted to do this grand review for it, but I didn't really have the time. But I do love how that review came out, so I will put the review in the description. If you love weird, macabre, goofy, comedy, horror, musical, sci-fi, I don't know, it's got pretty much everything in it. I mean, it basically totes itself as The Sound of Music meets The Dawn of the Dead. That's a pretty good description. I would go with that. Seriously. I just don't know how a director who has made Audition and Itchy the Killer makes a movie like this. I mean, that just shows such range and mind-blowing. Best picture, hands down, loved it. Thank you guys so much again for watching these 31 Days of Horror. I can't tell you how appreciative I am. I'm gonna put the 31 Days of Horror playlist in the description below, as well as some of the reviews that I thought came out pretty well and are really good films. Please, if you haven't seen them already, take a look at them. And finally, if you watched some of these videos and enjoyed them, please subscribe to my channel. I'd love to continue showing you all things macabre. My name's Sean Mazerall. This is Nocturnal Horrors. See you next time.